might have been on a call.
Oh, he was on a call.
He was on a call. They called him.
He's on a cold call.
Yeah, well, it's more than 8 words.
I know. Yeah, I'm not good with. I'm not good with more than 4 words. 4 or 2. I don't know. Welcome to the Good Bad Movie Showdown, where we compete to find the best, worst, good, bad movie. And since this is our 3rd episode, we have our first 2 winners competing against each other.
It's intense, my friend. It's intense.
I'm not worried.
And given this week's theme is explosion, which is kind of a wild card, it's a very open theme. Tori, why don't we have you go first and present your first movie of explosion?
So I first wanted to just find some really crappy 80s action movies. I'm like, oh, they're gonna have good explosions. But I couldn't find one that I was like, this is bad enough to watch but still be entertaining. So I found my inspiration in sci-fi. My first movie I picked, and both of these movies are actually in 4-packs, so not sure if that's good or bad. But the first movie is called Alienator. This was released in 1990, directed by Fred Olen Ray, who is still directing movies, has directed actually quite a few movies. I'm not sure if it's Jan-Michael Vincent or Jan-Michael Vincent, but he looks like he's been in a lot of soap operas. Then there's also Ross Hagen, PJ Souls, who in this movie has some of the most egregious boob windows I've ever seen in any character outfit. And then Tegan Clive, and she's a bodybuilder. She is the Alienator. The Alienator also looks like an early template of the Fembot, but someone took 40-ounce cans and just crushed them.
Is there a picture on the cover at all? I can't
There
even
is,
see it.
yeah.
They have a picture on the inside.
Yeah.
We'll cut to that.
Oh.
But you can see the Alienator with her arm and her armor and her...
Oh, yes.
her
That looks awesome.
But I don't know why you don't put that on the cover, because that,
Yeah.
I mean, that...
Well, they put these on there because those are famous actors.
Oh,
That's
that's
the only
fair.
reason they would
That's
do
fair.
that.
This is basically the throwdown of the movie. Cole, he's a prisoner on a spaceship, and he's a terrible person. They're going to execute him. But because they needed to have a movie, he escapes. Of course, the commander's like, all right, we're going to execute him, and he got away. We got to find a way to kill him. Let's get the Alienator. So Letterboxd gave it a 2.2 out of 5. Then IMDb 3.1. Rotten Tomatoes a 9% audience score. There isn't a critical score. So the just one fun notable goof, and you'll probably notice this, is that there's a couple scenes where the Alienator is shooting and a sound effect goes off and her arm recoils, but there is no laser.
Well, it's faster than the camera can pick it up.
That's true.
I mean, that
Yeah.
happens in real gunfire, too.
And then sometimes she's able to shoot from different angles from the same spot, which is pretty impressive. Yeah.
So the gun will be here, the laser will go there, or there.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
So that was Alienator. That was my first choice. Ryan, back to you.
All right, before we get to my first choice, the very first thought I had, a movie I enjoyed when I was 12. Went over to the neighbor's house, he rented a movie. It was Deadly Friend. Do you guys know Deadly Friend?
Oh!
Right?
Yes.
Right? Deadly Friend. I did not know much about it other than just remembering it was the name of the movie. Next door guy that was a crush on her put a chip in her brain, and she became a computer thing, and she kills the neighbor lady by throwing a basketball
Yes.
at old woman's head. And so her head explodes.
I don't think I was your friend when I was 12, but we had the same thing in my house where we watched Deadly Friend, that scene, countless times. It was so memorable for us.
So the thing about Deadly Friend, and the reason why I didn't pick it, is because it's Wes Craven. And this is coming off of his Nightmare on Elm Street kind of rise, and I don't think it quite qualifies as a good bad movie because it's just at that. I don't think Nightmare on Elm Street would qualify as a good bad movie, even though it would be fun to watch for this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't quite think it's fair. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't put it in there. It's ridiculous.
I agree, though.
But
I agree.
I just couldn't quite do it. So I went on a head explosion search. So can you guys think of any movies that have head explosions in them? Scanners is the first one. Yep.
Big Trouble in Little China.
So I did the research. He just inflates and
He
explodes.
does.
You don't see his head on camera explode,
okay,
if that's
gotcha.
the one you were thinking of. Because
Yeah,
I thought the
probably,
same
yeah.
thing. Great movie, but you don't actually see him.
Gotcha.
So
Maybe Goonies? Not Goonies, I'm sorry, Gremlins.
So apparently the movie you mentioned last time, Dead End Road, has a head explosion in it.
Okay.
But these are my honorable mentions, and it's Mars Attacks,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all blow up.
1996.
Yep.
So do you remember why they blow up?
Yodeling
Yes.
music.
Yep. Which is interesting because there's a similar head explosion in Terror Vision. The Fly. Rubber from 2010,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
one of
okay.
my super favorite movies.
I
and
agree.
Mr. Hughes? And then I mentioned this one because it's hilarious. The Kingsman, have you seen it? The
Yes.
first Kingsman?
Yes.
But I think it could have the most head explosions in a single movie. All right, so that's my head explosions rabbit hole that I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm going to get to my selection now, which, interestingly enough, features robots as well. So my number one selection is Chopping Mall,
That sounds
and so it has a
like it's
it has
right
a
up my alley.
dust cover. I'll let you guys look at. You want to read the theme? The theme is great.
Where shopping costs you an arm and a leg.
This movie features
This looks awesome.
one head explosion.
Ooh.
Yes. So this movie is about teenagers that work in a mall, and they decide in the evening they're going to party. I think there's 8 teenagers, basically all coupled up. Added to this mall is a security system that is robots.
Ooh.
That
sure.
they, of course, go awry and start to murder. And so now these teenagers are trapped in this mall with the conveniences of a mall at their disposal to deal with the robots. All right, it was directed by Jim Wynorski, which I don't know if you guys know or not. This is one of his best known films. It was kind of like a,
If this is his most known movie, I doubt if I've heard of it before.
well, here's the reason why I mentioned it.
Okay.
He's a veteran exploitation movie maker, producer, director, writer. So he has this great quote, and it's, breasts are the cheapest special effects in our business. So some of his movies include Not of This Earth, 1988 with Tracy Lords, The Return of the Swamp Thing in 1989 with Heather Locklear, Hard Bounty, 1995 with Kelly LeBrock, Point of Seduction, Body Chemistry 3, 1994, and Body Chemistry 4, Full Exposure, 1995 with Shannon Tweed. Anyway, director Jim Wynorski has like 150 motion pictures with his name on them. That's writer, director,
Wow.
producer, yeah, a lot. The last movie he directed was 2018. He's still making them. It was called Cobra Gator.
That sounds good.
So a mall, 1980s, teenagers, killer
Okay.
robots.
Sounds perfect.
It's got a 2.9 on Letterboxd and a 5.6 on Internet Movie Database. And it actually has both scores on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
It's got a 38% Rotten audience score, 56% critics score. That is my first pick.
All right.
Is Chopping Mall from 1986.
Very good pick.
all right. Well, I'm going to throw a curveball. My movie second pick is Space Mutiny. One interesting thing about this cover, the cover is just terrible. It's startlingly terrible. Like, that makes you really
Oh my
not want to buy it. Like,
What?
It looks like
I was expecting it to be the actual cover.
no. It's
That
like
is
it-
no
it-
pencil. Oh my god.
it looks like some grade schooler like put
That is
together this
bad,
cover.
yeah.
And so this movie was made in the wonderful year of 1988. Ratings: Letterboxd 1.7 out of 5. The IMDb gives it a 2.1 out of 10. So it's basically they're on this giant colony ship, and it's a multi-generational voyage that they're taking to try to colonize some other place. One of the folks here in power is like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to die here. I want to go somewhere else. So he decides to set off a mutiny with a giant explosion. There's an excessive amount of people falling over railings in this for no great reason, but it's almost like they're like, well, we're shooting it here. What can we do? Let's have people fall over railings. Okay. So they do a lot of that.
Did this person used to direct a lot of westerns or something?
Could be.
Saloon fights.
Right.
The directors was David Winters and Neil Sundstrom, which is being credited as a co-director. So David Winters had to drop out early in the filming after a close relative died. Neil Sundstrom directed most of the film, however. Sundstrom was not pleased with the end result, blaming a lack of care and attention in pre-production, and refused to be credited as anything other than a co-director. Winters was equally unhappy with the film and attempted to have his name replaced with Alan Smithy, but his contract would not allow it.
Hold on. The Alan Smithy is that name that directors use when they don't want to be
So
credited.
Two driving forces beyond the film. Like, no. I
It's a
mean,
legal battle to get.
So, hold on.
That's
I'm going to ask you,
a good
Tor, are you
sign.
going to talk about the third director at all?
no.
You don't know about the third director?
No. You should
Okay.
bring it up.
Okay. So this movie has those two directors, and the main one's credited. And then they went through their editing process, and it wasn't long enough. So they came up with these, like, let's have this weird race of women monk
Oh,
that telekinesis talk.
That makes sense because they don't make any
No.
sense whatsoever in the movie.
But they wanted the directors to do it, and they said no. They got David A. Pryor.
Oh my god.
That's why I thought you picked this movie.
Oh, that's
So David,
perfect.
yes, David A. Pryor.
Wow.
David A. Pryor directed only the scenes with these ladies.
Oh
it's
my
not
gosh.
much, but they got him to do it.
That's okay. I must have known that subconsciously somehow. Because like
It's hilarious.
You are a Pryor fan,
that
aren't you? Yes.
I was before, am, and always will be a Pryor fan. Well, and there's just one last fact I'm gonna throw out there. This movie also features what I would like to refer to as shitty space tut-tuts in race scenes towards the end of them. Like, so I was like, how could I not? You know,
Yeah, that's a strong choice.
there's my
That's a
space
strong
mutiny right
choice.
there.
You're making this very difficult.
It's a super bad movie.
Now that we've had an explosive mutiny, what follows?
All right. Well, you're probably wondering what could be better than an exploding head, right? How about two exploding heads?
Oh yes,
This movie is called The Suckling.
suckling.
This one is like in contrast, pretty hard contrast to Chopping Mall. It does have two head explosions, and I'm so happy
Ooh.
I found this. So special thanks on Letterboxd. Letterboxd is amazing for lists and finding and tracking what you watch and stuff. But I found a list by Jacob I called Head Explosions! And it listed both these movies.
All right.
And after some research, I had to go with The Suckling. So The Suckling, 1990, is also known as Sewage Baby. It's about a pregnant woman who reluctantly goes to an illegal abortion clinic and has her baby aborted. And they flush it down the toilet, and it goes into the sewer and comes in contact with some toxic waste, nuclear material or something like that.
Sure.
And the fetus basically is attacking and murdering everybody.
Sure.
So this movie is directed by Francis Terry. This is his only credit,
Okay.
both writer and director, and that's it. That's all he ever did. Which is interesting because actually the actors and actresses in this movie, they also didn't. A majority of them were not in anything else. This is a different side of Hollywood, if you could even call it Hollywood, or movie making. So 1990, The Suckling. It is a low budget, bad movie. It's at a 2.8 on Letterboxd.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Out of just over 800 votes. And then Internet Movie Database, which is a surprise to me. It's 4.7 on Internet Movie Database, but only out of a little over 700 votes. And it's strange to find one that's on Letterboxd that has more user scoring than Internet Movie Database. So that was a little outlier for me.
So maybe it's more of a niche film, or a,
Well, here,
cult film?
that leads in really well to an excellent Letterboxd quote, which is, this review is by Ian West. Imagine if Alien took place at a shitty brothel that moonlights as a bootleg abortion house in New York, but with zero budget, tons of ambition, and dildos. That is not the quote I thought I was going to read. But I'm glad you did.
yeah.
Because I had to. That brings up an excellent quote that I got about this movie from Internet Movie Database, which is Humanoid of Flesh. And it was titled Terrible. Francis Terry's The Suckling is easily one of the worst horror movies ever made. It's sleazy, disgusting, and incredibly stupid, so fans of trash cinema won't be disappointed. This hilariously awful horror film has to be seen to be believed. The acting is horrid, the special effects are downright horrible, and the sound is weak. 8 out of 10 stars. It's the point where you guys have to decide. So pick one of mine, pick one of Tori. Let's do it.
All right. I will let you go first.
I have a feeling I'm going to be the contrarian. I feel more 80s energy at this table than in a long time. I got to go with Alienator.
All right.
I got to go with Alienator. We haven't seen enough of Jan-Michael Vincent since Airwolf.
That's really tough because I think I might have to disagree.
I thought you would.
Yeah.
You would.
Just based on the excitement around Space Mutiny, I want to see that. My only negative against it is it appears that 2 people in here have seen the movie already.
Yes.
However, they seem giddy with excitement about it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have to go with Space Mutiny.
Oh.
We are
a tie.
a tie. We must now go to the challenger.
I have to pick between Alienator and Space Mutiny.
Yes.
And you made an excellent case for Space Mutiny. There is some excitement I have there. I've always wanted to see Alienator. I think I need to vote Alienator.
All right. I'm perfectly fine with that. It was a toss-up, but
It's a tough choice.
it is.
All right.
I think it's a no-lose situation.
Someone give it a space punch.
You're closer.
Yeah!
Scoot the winner in. Let's get it up there. Next person. All right. You guys got to pick between.
All right. This one was really difficult for me. Huge into 80s mall movies for some reason, but The Suckling sounds so bad. The fact that nobody in the film ever made anything else again.
There's some exception to that, but generally, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna notice. You're gonna recognize people from this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna recognize things. You might think you do, but you don't. I looked into it. They're not who you think they are.
But I think for me personally, I'm more into the stupid robot fighting in the mall than I am into crazy creature fetus look like Tales from the Crypt kind of thing that eats and kills. It's just I'm gonna have to go with chopping mall.
I thought I was going to disagree with you, but I agree with you.
All right.
And it's for all the reasons you stated. So yeah, I got to go with chopping mall too.
All right.
So do I give the Suckling the chop?
I think you do.
Wait, hold on. Before we do that, so let's find out what Tori wants to do.
So I feel very lucky that I didn't have to make the choice because I'm still torn as to what I would pick. I'm not going to make the decision because I haven't been forced to.
Oh, that's an excellent response.
Let's
No chop! Sorry.
All right.
Cool.
Let's go watch these movies.
Let's go watch the
Huzzah!
movies.
Uh-oh, laser pointer.
There's a cat.
Back to my donuts.
Turds?
I'm pretty sure they're donuts that have been cut
Oh,
out.
he had a lot.
They're gone now.
We should discuss.
We should discuss.
There's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to, as they say these days, there's a lot to unpack
Oh, yeah.
with these two spectacular films.
All right, where are you going to
Did
start?
we watch the same movies?
Where are we going to start? No, let him start. Where are we going to start?
I keep
Yes.
getting drawn to the cover of the 4-pack. So let us start with Alienator.
So, do we have Ryan explain the movie?
So Alienator is about Cole, a hardened criminal in the intergalactic prison system, perhaps, who escapes. He fled to the Earth, crash landed, but he's wounded to some extent. Luckily, he meets up with a ragtag group of RV campering kids.
You don't! Oh God! You hit someone!
literally hit him. And they bring him to their cop friend, who then brings them to their grandpa soldier guy.
Where did the kids come from?
Let's talk about it inside.
Okay, that should be interesting.
That guy's weird. I don't want him in my house.
So Alienator is this buff robot chick that shoots lasers out of an arm cannon, and the scrappy bunch of kids dodge lasers. Cole turns out to be the bad guy who can like take over leather jacket wearing teenagers.
Were they
And
teenagers?
Yeah, you keep saying kids and teenagers. I think
They're
no
like-
one was under the age of 34.
Are they taking a family portrait?
Awkward family photos.
All right,
So-
sum it up.
Alienator shows up. We got the whole cabin full of teenagers and a cop and a grandpa from the wars. And Alienator just kills Cole, who took over the other kid's body. And then laser pointer flies away, and then they all smile and pose for like a family photo.
Yeah.
You think she'll be back?
Yep.
In
That's
the
true.
movie.
So the whole Alienator name of the movie, whatever, was probably the smallest part in the movie. Was the Alienator
The least lines.
definitely the least lines?
Well, her lines are just gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Or
general.
her lines were gibberish only at the beginning. She
did have
eventually
lines at the end.
blank.
Oh, that's right. When she radios back to Jan-Michael Vincent.
Residue removed.
Alienator is clearly a reference to Terminator. And in Terminator, you know, Schwarzenegger's this unstoppable robotic juggernaut. She's an unstoppable what?
Except for sticks.
That's right.
Yeah. Watch out for those damn sticks.
Even just her presence in the movie was always relatively late in the game and lately introduced. Not introduced well either. Nobody explained, send out the Alienator.
Call out the hunter unit.
Anything.
Right, nothing.
Just Cole said, they're gonna come get me.
Yeah, I mean, Cole was the main character, and he sucked.
You almost unbearably bad.
It was
acting.
so bad.
This is the last stop. Prisoners here have exhausted all their appeals.
He does sound drunk too.
Yeah, he does.
This is the toilet of the interplanetary penal system.
Oh my.
Yep.
Yeah,
Could've been.
he was drunk.
I think he
The whole
probably
time.
only has one delivery. So drunk
But he's
or
got some
not.
sweet hair.
He does.
Does.
Like
just
that
a helmet
yeah,
of hair that's
Yeah.
just solid and
There's some Aquanet
clean,
and that stuff right there.
smooth.
What's interesting though is that you sort of think like maybe he's the bad guy in the beginning.
Right. We should give him credit for that. There
There
is
is a
a
big-
little bit
yeah.
of ambiguity with how he's acting. He's a little bit extreme, but he's Space Warden of Planet X, so
Who grabs a gun and says, I need to get him. And then the next shot is him sitting there and said, I should have got him.
Yeah.
He gets out of the station, we've lost him.
he's gone.
I don't believe I let him get away.
It's not your doing, though.
If my staff malfunctions, I'm to blame.
Your staff malfunctions.
they have pills for that now, dude.
Call out the hunter
Are
unit.
you all about staff malfunctions? It lacks a lot of things that make
A movie.
a movie followable.
But
Yeah.
do we give them credit for ambiguity or criticize them for just not being clear about
No,
what the
I
hell
think
was
that-
going on?
I think that the overarching setup is great. It's ambiguous because we just jump to that, like, we want the rebel to win. We need
Right.
the guy to get out of jail because that's the normal story we're told.
So
And we never really found out that that guy was bad, that Cole was bad,
until the end.
until the end when he started kind of hitting on that girl, and that was
Wait,
about
wait.
the only time that he was.
When he hit on the girl or when he sucked the guy's face?
Well, he sucked the guy's face, and
and then
then
he hit
yeah.
on the girl.
yeah,
What do you really want? This is getting awkward.
I would argue that we still don't know necessarily if the warden and stuff are actually good. They could have both been bad. Like Cole
it could
and
be a corrupt system.
Right.
No doubt.
Because like Cole's dad was trying to, like, you know,
It was his dad, wasn't it?
keep him
That's
alive.
true,
and he
that's
was
Called that on the couch.
he was
Somebody
saying,
said it's gonna be his dad. Was that?
I think it
Bill
was me.
Bill
Yeah.
did
Was
say
that you?
it.
Yeah.
and
Movie
they-
points for you.
But he also did say that he was from
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. So
Well, a curious way to keep the troops in tow, Commander. Don't stop on my account.
He's dressed like Dorothy
Don't know my account.
From-
I'm a freak.
from Golden Girls.
from Golden.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Blair.
Don't Wizard of Oz.
Don't stop on my account.
He was dressed like he was from Golden Girls.
That's true, yeah.
He's dressed like Dorothy.
But him and Jan the Hare were talking about how both sides of the war had killed sort of innocent people, essentially. So,
right. And let's not forget, a perfectly innocent drunk country doctor died for this movie. The Alienator, without provocation, just gunned him down.
That's true. There's really no reason why she killed.
She did set her laser to burn in hell.
Yeah. It caused him to catch on fire.
I bet you that never happens again.
Maybe the doctor was bad.
He might have been on a call. We
oh,
don't
he
know.
was on a
He
call.
was on a call. They called him.
He's on a cold call.
Oh my god, I did not put this together. This actually makes it really good. So she started justifying killing him because he would be the one to help Cole.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but a lot of the rendering of the things weren't so great. Like those two country bumpkins are just so over the top that it was just painful instead of being funny.
I think for the most part, remove them completely and
Yes.
not have any impact on the movie.
Well,
And I was gonna say they have like traps and things, but they're the only ones that got stuck in the trap.
Damn it, what in the hell are you boys doing out here?
Oh,
and the Alienator.
she got stuck in the spike
That's-
trap, but I didn't see the spike trap at all.
She didn't get stuck in it. She just walked through
She
it.
walked through it, but I mean
And
that.
then pet a deer. Her reward for stepping in the spike
That's
trap
true.
was to pet a deer.
Yeah.
And the actress honestly looked enthralled by that.
She did.
It was a lovely, lovely moment.
It was a lovely moment.
And you could feel right through her Alienator outfit.
Oh god, non-hostile.
Why is it English?
I just realized that only 4 people died in this movie on Earth.
Name them.
The Doctor,
Okay.
Heckle and Jekyll, the two
Yep.
dumbass
I like the name.
hunters,
Yep.
and Captain Varsity.
Captain Varsity.
And then Cole.
And then Cole.
He's not human necessarily, but he
True.
did die.
I'll put that up to 5. Yeah, 5.
That's our?
Disintegrate him.
So not a high body count film.
I mean, you
for
could
kind of that
on Earth.
Yeah.
'Cause
On
there
Earth,
was
yeah,
the,
he was chilling.
the guy that was teleported to hell,
Yeah,
And up in
then,
space, a lot of
Cole
people
kills,
flipping
like,
over.
and then Old
4 or
Man
5
killed.
guards.
Or no, who died at the very end? In
Oh.
the
That was Cole.
That was Cole's
no,
father.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. And a lot
So-
of people flipping over railings too,
That's true. Yeah, Cole was
or-
killing
There's a
people left
couple
and
of
right.
those.
or not necessarily even flipping over, but just falling
Oh my
off,
gosh,
just tossing
we were
themselves off
joking
railings.
about space mutiny railing kills, and we were laughing at how bad the railing kills are in Alienator.
Lazy.
Oh, falling off the railing!
No, they're standing there, they get shot, and then when they cut back to them, they're on the other side of the rails, jumping off.
Hanging off.
On the other side of the railing.
Well, the one character I think we all kind of agreed on that was sort of had redeeming qualities was the old dude that had like all these
The old landmine.
I loved him.
all these war
Yeah.
weapons.
And not only because he was in, I think, 5 Rockford Files episodes as 2 different characters, but that guy, he's just a cool. I liked the cut of his jib, man.
Look, I consider this a real vote of confidence. I can handle it, Jim.
I mean, that makes one move on you, and I'm all over him, okay?
Okay, Charlie.
He shot the collar off.
With an AK, and so he has an AK that he just keeps next to the credenza.
Which he also explained is an AK he took off somebody.
Some NBA soldier.
That he murdered.
Yeah, Pork Chop Hill.
But the thing is, he keeps one live round in the chamber, and then that's the live round he uses the bing.
He says that collar's some kind of a tracking device. Says it won't come off.
It won't, huh?
No, Colonel, don't! Close, but no cigar.
He shot the collar off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only did he shoot it off of him where nothing happened to Cole, but nothing happened to the collar either, other than the fact that it fell off. I mean, that's
what they use for
good
keys
shot.
on that planet.
Is bullets
Yeah.
out of AKs?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. That's why he was kind of like, oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
You had the key the whole time, you dummy.
But we have to talk a little bit about how it then goes up to Space Command or wherever, and then Golden Girls pulls out a laser ring or something like that. It's not the power of the Schwartz.
I was getting a Schwartz vibe from that.
But it was longer than a Schwartz.
It was very long.
Longer than some Schwartz.
You have the ring. And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
I don't think they were copying Spaceballs.
They weren't copying Spaceballs, but they weren't being Spaceballs with a ring that's no, doesn't matter. They had a lightsaber ring thingy. But it was weird.
Right.
It was different. It wasn't a ring. It wasn't a saber. It just came out of nowhere. Dorothy from Golden Girls fighting Airwolf Captain.
Yeah.
And they're like holding the sword that's like making laser blast sound, and then all of a sudden, punch through.
Because he was going, Kalima Shakti De.
Kalima Shakti De.
And then what? I feel like I've missed something.
No, that is it. Alienator left with her bounty and left them some gems as compensation.
What did you throw him? Like advanced robot from another planet?
A bag of coins.
Coins in a bag? Like a rag?
Mm-hmm.
And then why would a bounty hunter be giving other people stuff? Like, she's like, well, I got him. I'm going to go get
Right,
money.
I think they were trying to tell us that she has some sense of justice, that she recognized that there was a lot of collateral damage.
Was there nothing after that?
No.
No, she went off into space.
Credits rolled. Oh, she did. It was laser pointer to the sky.
Yeah. I'm done with that movie.
I think we're done with that movie.
Yeah, let's put a chop right into it and move on to the mall that's right over here.
So that's you. You would need to describe.
So here was a movie called Chopping Mall.
Absolutely nothing can go wrong.
In this movie, we come to what the 80s was kind of obsessed with was smart robots that could do safety things for humans. And so this mall is like, hey, you know what? Let us get some robots. And the robots will do a great job. We're not even gonna test them. We're just gonna put these robots out, and we're gonna let them patrol the mall. The mall's gonna have these giant security doors that shut down and keep people inside. So a bunch of teens are like, let's go into this shopping mall and let's all make out in the furniture store.
Make out is kind of PG-13 version of what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they only showed the making or the after making.
Let's be real.
Everything's implied.
Things don't get that far without.
They showed him under the covers clearly doing.
Michael.
What? No.
No, I don't allow that.
He was trying to find chewing gum. I mean, give the guy some break.
That's true, he was, yeah.
But it was Hubba Bubba last time. No, Double Bubble. And, you know,
Right.
Two totally different gums.
Yeah.
Big Red.
So I understand. It was Big Red.
Juicy fruit. keep going. Trident.
Bazooka Joe. So
we digress.
These kids get stuck in this mall. They're making out, and because they don't have ID badges,
but they do.
They didn't do dick.
The kids didn't, did they?
Yeah,
they did several times.
Oh.
But 2 times people produce ID badges and it doesn't work.
Well, I know the janitor did.
Hey, look, I'm like you, I work here. See? Huh? See that? Oh, shit. I knew you bastards were gonna be trouble when I first brought you in here.
Okay,
Yep,
but
and
let's.
so did chewing gum guy.
Let's
Here. Klaatu, Barada, Niktu, okay?
So essentially, they're stuck in this mall, and they see that these robots are patrolling and obviously not scanning correctly. So like, oh, they're just killing us, these really useful robots that can't get out because the doors have come down. And so they go out, and then hijinks ensues, in that they're all running around trying to get their clothes on and evade the robots. And the robots are pretty hard to kill, because if you tip them over, they can get back up. But essentially what it boils down to is the nerdy gal and the nerdy guy are the ones that make it out, even though it looked like he was pretty dead at one
And
point.
can I just say I called that?
Well,
You did.
Well,
I think we all did that.
Well, that's a lively party.
So how many of these teenagers do you think are gonna live at the 2 security?
All of them.
One or two.
Him and the slightly dumpy looking girl.
Rick Moranis and Michelle Williams?
Yes.
Michelle Williams and Rick Moranis are the only 2 people that made it out alive from this movie, I believe.
Spoiler alert.
Neither
Yeah.
one of those actors appear in this film.
And there's a very turdy looking donut that got eaten by 2 people.
Well, part of it did just disappear.
True.
Back to my donuts.
Turds?
I'm pretty sure they're donuts that have been cut
Oh,
out.
he had a lot.
They're gone now.
Yeah, what place? Turds. It's a donut that you tore up. Just put on a
It was
plate.
like 2 donuts torn up. It didn't make any
It
sense.
didn't make any
No.
sense. No, like,
donut
I'm gonna have
pieces.
donuts. We're gonna tear this up, put it on a plate, and just smoke and stare at monitors for a while.
Wear my lab coat.
But in the end, they do defeat those robots. And the nerdy guy that looked like he was dead.
Get the hell out of here!
Wow.
Oldest trick in the book.
The old throw the fire hydrant that he threw at you trick.
Target extinguished.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Turns out he had just jammed a toilet paper roll against the back of his head and he was okay. And
It works.
yeah, Michelle Williams was like, woo! And Rick Moranis is like, hey, toilet paper. And then the movie ends, they survived.
I have a question though. At one point in the movie, they broke through some glass doors to get into a store, right? And at one point in the movie, they broke into one of those metal security doors to get into a different store. Why the hell couldn't they just break out of the mall?
Well, I think those ridiculous.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right.
They're like-
They
They
had
did
those
bunker
crazy.
Wow, that is a high-tech mall.
That's
Yeah.
like serious, like bunker doors. Yeah.
I forgot about the really technical doors that.
Yeah,
merge
things that you
together.
would never actually have on a mall.
Yeah, they were
Right.
intense.
Or any
Yes.
civilian building ever
Yeah.
for any reason whatsoever.
Like the Johnny Fives running around killing people.
And when they killed you, then they said, thank you, have a nice day.
Thrilling kill.
Ah!
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Which totally takes the edge.
It does.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad of a death. And they did sound like Kermit the Frog trying to do a robot voice, at least to me.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
The other thing is they were not good at shooting lasers.
Nobody was.
Like worse than stormtroopers.
Yeah. You could just stand there and they would shoot on either side of you.
Between the legs.
Yeah, between everywhere around you.
Everybody in both of these movies went to Stormtrooper shooting school.
Yes.
They really, really did, including the robots. They got their AI from Stormtroopers.
The guy in the middle is really getting into shooting.
Yeah, he is. He's like doing the lambada.
Oh my god, the worst shooting ever! Oh my god! Can anybody hit anything?
These robots do things that they are just beyond explanation.
Like having C4 just chilling inside.
They can apparently squirt out explosives onto joints of.
Right. Because that's something you look for in a mall rent-a-cop.
And then
reach a door.
One, they can squirt out explosive gel onto hinges of doors. Two, they can shoot out apparently a little detonator
a little
line
lead, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
into that gel.
What? Do the robots have explosives?
I'm right behind you.
As usual.
Prepare for detonation.
What? So they can do like SWAT style breaching. That's what these robots are programmed to do.
Because they do cut through like the steel doors that are down. The kids hide in the perfumery.
Perfumery.
The kids hide next to the perfume.
I mean, it's
smelly stuff. Smelly stuff.
No, yes, clearly, yeah. It's like, but that's a common thing. It's like,
what, hiding next to perfume?
no, like in movies, spreading shitty AI with the ability to make decisions and
what I love in the robots of the past are
wow.
the really complicated AI solving problems and things, but the actual mechanics are about as simple as you can possibly make. Like the track system or whatever. It's an incredibly smart machine on a track system with it can't communicate, can't do anything else.
But then it threatens everybody by going, I found your mom.
Like one of those exotic birds on
Presenting.
Tries to flex its robotic arm.
It's making itself seem bigger to intimidate.
Well, it did do that a couple times.
Yeah.
Pin
clamps!
Clamps? Here are your new clamps. Clamps!
But it did use its clamps to kill people.
A good number of kills.
Yeah.
You know,
At least 3 kills were all clamp kills.
I really would want to see like the testing that they put those robots through. Like, how did they? Because clearly they didn't test because they're like, oh, let's deploy them. What could go wrong? That magazine was booby-trapped.
I found the little Easter eggs. The game within the game. The fun part of this movie was like
It's
spotting everything.
there's all these little inside things. You nailed a number of them. I did not expect anybody to notice this stuff. Like the Naradu Niktu.
Yeah. Which was a reference when Bruce Campbell says it, when Sam Raimi writes it into Army of Darkness. It is a reference to something already.
Let's take it in the context of this movie. The girl showed his boobs, wants him to get cigarettes, and he's doing it. The robot comes up to him, and so he shows his badge, and he says,
Black Tube, Rock Tube,
Niktu. And the line is from The Day the Earth Stood Still, and it's the line to stop the robot.
Black Tube, Barada, Nikto.
Oh, you're right. It even fits contextually. I didn't even put that together.
Yep.
You're right.
It's a reference in Evil Dead,
Right.
because he's doing a similar-ish thing, but he can't remember the line.
Can't remember he flubs the last word. It definitely starts with an N.
Nickel,
Yes.
he's
Necktie.
Klaatu, Barada,
necktie, nectar, nickel.
It's an excellent reference. I love that it's there. It doesn't make sense for that character, but I'm still willing to have him say it. Anybody that doesn't get it, they don't get it.
Yeah.
It's fine. You caught it. But you also caught the name of the Peck and Paw.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
Peck and
awesome
Paw hardware store.
hardware store with just racks of.
Yep, it was
Black
called
Rifles,
Peck and
yeah.
Paw in reference to. Yeah, you caught that on your own.
What was Peck and Paw from?
Sam Peckinpah, the ultra-violent director of the 70s and 80s, maybe 60s as well.
Let's go send those fuckers a Rambogram.
Oh my god. Oh, he's
I
got
love
the
how they all
propane.
started. Like, clearly the director was saying, and start walking. Yep.
What's he gonna do with the propane? And I'm
Bring the
almost
head off
certain there are dozens of references that we didn't get.
It was obviously filmed in a real mall, and then they added extra stuff to it,
Yeah.
like the crush. Because the crush groove is like an external, would be easy to fake versus like some of the store signs there that were probably legit.
Right.
Well, I mean, they're like for stores.
No, they had, I saw a Florsheim. I saw a.
I saw McDonald's.
Yeah, we saw McDonald's next to a vitamin store.
Part of Commando was there.
Commando, yeah.
You got that one on your own.
Wait, you know what? That looks a lot like the mall, the elevator from Commando too. Well, that Schwarzenegger jumps off of.
Holy fuck, dude. Can you really recognize this stuff? 'Cause
I-
yes, it is.
Really?
Yes!
So I will say I get why they changed it from Killbots, because Killbots doesn't sell the movie well, but Chopping Mall does really not fit it either.
And that's a great
no
name.
one gets chopped.
Chopping Mall is a great name for a slasher movie that happens in a mall. Not this movie.
I think Killbots is better, even though I would think more
But Killbots
futuristic.
could be anywhere. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Choppy Mall is good in that it's
Setting it in a mall, letting you know up front what you're in for.
With Killbots, you know people are going to get killed by robots.
True.
You don't know where. So this one tells you where, that one tells you how. So if it was Killbot Chopping Mall, now that would have it doesn't have that ring.
It doesn't really fit on a marquee.
But boy would that explain it better. An Alienator is actually a really good name. Oh yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
Yes, it is. For an 80s
my-
movie?
All right, no.
If
hold
you
on.
know Terminator, it's perfect.
If you know language, to alienate, the verb alienator is someone who alienates.
Did she not alienate?
She did not.
Yes, she did.
The definition
No,
of alienate
what?
is to
Alienate.
make someone other, to make someone the alien.
She alienated a lot of people.
She did not alienate anybody.
She othered them. But did she not?
No.
She shot him with her laser arm.
All right, hold on. We're getting over.
But my biggest problem with this movie is that she was the most interesting thing, and they almost completely misused her.
She's never explained. She's just a thing on the screen.
She's
a
interesting.
huge portion of her thing on the screen, just standing there.
Yeah, like
They talk about her.
Awkwardly gone.
like a David Pryor shot, like just stuck.
No, because he's got some great shots. It's like
So I think we need to we got to get on.
We
got to
wrap
here.
it up.
Let's get on a boat.
It's time. And I think you should go first.
Well,
I think you.
this is really tough because neither, like I said, neither of them were great, but neither of them were horrible, but neither of them were like really memorable. They're to me very, very similar movies.
Can I make an argument?
Sure. Is it in favor of yours?
Head explosion.
Yep, that is true.
Head explosion. I sold head explosion and I sold it hard.
Yeah. The head explosion was cool, but
it so
didn't make sense with the way their weapons work.
Right.
No, that's
one time they
especially 'cause
actually
they're picking
hit
at
somebody.
people for like, ow, oh,
Yeah.
ow.
Yeah, they sting her butt.
Slightly stinging
Ow! Owie!
Whoa!
It changed the
Well,
setting
it's
on
well
those
known
shots.
fact that the ass has way more tensile strength than the cranium.
Well, she had buns of steels, to be fair.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thinking about theme, what was the explosion in this one?
There was a lot of explosions.
There were a lot of explosions.
That's the problem with explosions. It's pretty
Yeah,
wild
there's
card.
a lot of them. Yeah.
There also was
That's
the
true.
big,
Her green laser kind
and
of
the big landmine that was in his dresser.
And the landmine that did all the sparks and everything. Whoa! He shot the.
Shot the lamp.
Got it! Oh, yeah. I've heard that before.
But I think in the end, I'm gonna have to go, mostly because of all the references, that I thought was a more clever movie, a more interesting movie. Even though I didn't get all the references, I still appreciate the fact that they did it. I like Chopping Mall. This one was kind of a mess for me, which, usually that can be good, but I think I gotta go with Chopping Mall.
I have very similar feelings. I resent Alienator. I resent that because there probably was somewhere somebody came up with a really good franchise-worthy universe of Alienator, and then
There's a TV series here of Alienator hunting down things and people misunderstanding and working out.
The political intrigue of galactic politics and
all with Jan-Michael Airwolf going,
culture.
Yeah.
Sure, not slur my words. Play the cello. All right. Rest in power, Jim.
Laser dildos.
It's a game of strength.
Oh, that's true. Yes, the game of strength and skill.
Another one of your toys?
As a matter of fact, it is. It's a test of strength and skill. Perhaps you'd like to play.
Perhaps I would.
Do I have to sit on this?
And then spin.
I didn't love Chopping Mall. I loved the references, like you said. I was appreciative of the, shall we say, aesthetics of the 80s that seemed to be a little bit more prominent.
This had more exposed breasts than this one did.
I was trying to find a tactful way to look at the aesthetics of the 80s.
That's what I thought you meant, so that's why I said it.
Less hubcaps.
Yes.
Right, more exposed
rims.
Pepperoni.
Yeah.
So
pepperoni.
I
just love the smell of pepperoni.
Like pepperoni.
You smell like pepperoni.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Wait a minute.
What?
I like pepperoni.
Oh. In that case.
You haven't seen my nipples yet.
Yes! Oh my god, no! Is that really
God.
the reference that you like pepperoni?
Yep.
You haven't seen my nipples yet. Smell these. So
good save, bro. Good save.
I have to pick Chopping Mall as well. I legitimately enjoyed hating both of them. I enjoyed hating this one more because of the references, the 80s aesthetic, and I didn't realize until you said it, you're right. It hangs together better. It is what it is. This is schizophrenic. This is on its meds, and it knows exactly what it's supposed to be.
I was really excited to see Alienator. I knew a bit about it. I'm happy to have seen Alienator. I think Chopping Mall is a winner, comparably.
So, and if I were to vote, and I was voting on what movie I'd want to watch again, I would vote Chopping Mall over Alienator.
I would too.
I think we have a winner.
I think we do.
Give it, you gotta go harder.
Give it the chop! Give it the chop!
Winner!
Who's a winner?
You're a winner.
After we declare a winner, what movie is this the best of? So if we had to award it an award that nobody else can ever top, what is the best award
Best
for?
joke about a pizza topping?
I like pepperoni.
This one seems like it's got to be something to do with chewing gum. and I missed what that had to do with, and so I thought it was part of the movie, but it wasn't. It was just you.
So the reference is that when we first see the the teenagers are having
being intimate.
She is being pleasured underneath the blankets by her boyfriend. And throughout the movie, that boyfriend is always chewing gum. And so I made a joke.
So that was just from you, not from the movie.
His gum was guilty by association.
Yes.
All right.
So, and then we made gum jokes as if gum was the placeholder for
Leslie.
Got anything?
Most titillating pepperoni.
That's pretty good.
Most
actually.
titillating pizza topping.
Yes. I kind of like titillating toppings, but
Sure, it's alliterative.
it is. I like alliterative. I'm a
Let's go with that.
All right.
And if we think of something better, we'll just stare at the camera.
So we pick a theme for the next episode because I just randomly selected from our previous themes is knockoff and big guns. What did you get? Or what did you select for this?
I selected game and apocalypse.
All right. I have super and robot.
And I got zoo and gum.
Right. So
Gum.
Gum. Okay. Yep. So somebody shuffles those up. Who shuffles them up? And I believe
I can do it.
Winner was the drawer.
I think
Is that the right?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Pick a card, any card. What do we got for the next theme?
The next theme is robot.
Robot.
Robots! Woo! All right. So episode 4, robot. Hope you watch it. That's a good bad movie showdown.
Yeah.
All right.
So, how do we end this thing? I don't think we figured that out yet.
I think I did.
That's what you have to edit in. The cat jumping up to try to hit the pizza.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That'll be in there. You bet it will. It's gonna be a shitty picture of a cat.
More butter. More butter.
Waitress, more butter.
Good times with bad movies.